Parker, during a game week, I assume most of your film stuff is pretty forward-looking. You're looking at the next opponent. During the bye week, do you take any extra time to kind of look back at the first three games?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we got to focus on ourselves before we focus on the next opponent, and I think bye week was a good mix of focusing on Cal, but also going over what mistakes we made and how to correct those. So I think it is a good balance.
Was there anything that really jumped out on film about those first three games for the defense that seemed very correctable?
Yeah, I think our biggest focus lately has just been like focusing on doing your job the best that you can. We definitely had some mental errors, guys not being where they're supposed to be, and I think Grinch is really trying to focus on getting that corrected.
Are any of your young teammates that maybe didn't get on the field a whole lot during those first three games, is this a chance for them to kind of expand their role?
Yeah, I think it's been awesome. It's no secret we got a lot of young guys out there playing, and I think those first three games are a really good opportunity for them to get their feet wet, and I think the bye week was a good opportunity, like I said, for the coaches to get with them and help them correct those.
Is there anyone in particular you think could have a bigger role going forward?
I don't think so. I just think the defense as a whole, I think if anybody goes down or something happens, I think anybody is eligible to step up, and I think everybody's confident with everybody that's with us.
One player who saw his role expand over the last two games was Trayshawn.
Mm-hmm.
How's he come along?
He's come along really well. He started late. I'm not exactly sure why, but he's been with the coaches a lot. He's been with myself and some of the other guys at the nickel position, and he's been really eager to learn, and he's picked up on everything really well.
How exciting for you was it to make that start last week?
It was great. It's something that I've been working towards for a long time, and my number got called, and I was happy that I could go out there and help my team win.
They keep a lot of that stuff under wraps, but were you able to tell a few of your friends or anything back home that you might want to make sure you watch all of this game?
I actually knew I was going to play. I didn't know I was going to start. We were kind of out there as with Logan, and they just said, all right, Parker, you're going. And so I just went. I didn't know that I was going to start, actually. So it was a kind of cool surprise. Yeah.
Do you think this was kind of an ideal time for a bye week for you guys in terms of getting right before Pac-12 play and a chance to refocus?
Yeah, I think so. Like you said, going into Pac-12 play, it's nice to have the extra week to get ready. It's a different gear for sure, I think. And I think, as I said, with the young guys that haven't experienced Pac-12 play yet, I think it's a good opportunity for them to get their heads right, get our bodies ready, and get ready for Cal.
What is Pac-12 play like? How does it differ from the non-conference schedule?
I think every game is important always, but I think now it's for the title. It's guys that we're familiar with. I think every game is a little more intense just because you're familiar with the people and you're fighting for that Pac-12 title.
Do you find it more physical? Do you find it more grueling in the trenches?
I think so. Yeah. From my experiences, I think, like I said, guys just bring it every week, and especially in our league. There's no game that you're just going into like this can be fine, and so I think every week you just got to bring it, and everybody does that pretty well.
When you hear the name Jared Goff, what do you think about?
Oh, he's a great player. He makes all the throws, really good decision making. He can move within the pocket. He can get out and throw it on the run, and he's a great quarterback.
How much of a test is it for you guys to deal with Goff as someone who very accurate and also can scramble out of the pocket?
Right. It's going to be a great test for us. I think, we've been playing some more teams that are more running style, but we are an air raid offense ourselves, and it's kind of like looking in the mirror when you're looking at them, and I think it's going to be a great test for us.
You mentioned the looking in the mirror part. What are the differences between the two offenses, if there is any?
I'm not sure. I don't think there's that many really differences. I think, we both like to throw it, and, this year I think we've thrown that we can run it more and they can run it too, and it's very similar, I think.
What jumped out at you watching them play UW last week?
The running game. Everybody knows that Goff can get out there and pass, but all their running backs are really physical, really fast, and their offensive line is very physical too. So, I think both of our teams, people look at us and think they're just going to throw the ball 70 times a game, they can't run, and I think that's a misconception because I think both teams can run the ball when they need to.
Have you guys talked about last year's game against Cal?
Not too much. I think everybody knows, how just crazy that game was and how back and forth it was. We're trying to focus on this year, but I think, it's no secret that last year's game was pretty nuts. So, yeah.
Are you expecting a bit of a shootout, or are we trying to tame it down a bit this year?
I'm a defensive guy, so I hope that we can tame it down, a little bit. And obviously I play a lot on special teams too, so hopefully, we can get that under control too. But I think it's just going to be a good game, whatever way it goes.
What was the big takeaway from that game last year? Just on the defensive side, obviously a lot of points scored, and also you can speak to the special teams with their return game.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is you got to take every snap and every possession seriously. And same with special teams. It's one play, but you can't just take it for granted because, like we saw in the Rutgers game, it can drastically affect the outcome of a game. And you've got to bring it every single play. You can't take a play off.
When you look at the Pac-12 North right now, as you get into Pac-12 play, I mean, Oregon just lost, Stanford lost early. Is there a sense, too, that this division more than ever is kind of open for the taking, and if you guys can make a run?
I think so, absolutely. I think we go into every year thinking that, but with the way that things have been playing out this year, and, it's no secret that the Pac-12 in general is a very competitive conference. And this year I think it even is more competitive than ever because – I think a lot of the teams that haven't been as great lately, they're raising the bar, and I think, everyone's getting on a more even playing field.
From the beginning of camp to now, what have you seen as the biggest improvement from the defense?
I would say pursuit, just getting to the ball. I think that's the biggest thing since Grinch has gotten here. He's really stressed running to the ball and just doing our jobs, focusing on ourselves, and I think that's been the biggest difference.
Any questions on the line for Parker Henry?
Hey Parker, this is something with the Seattle Times. I know you talked about how the offense that you guys run is very similar to Cal's offense, but if you had to break it down, do you think there's any nuance that you guys have that data? Are there any differences that you see between your offense and their offense?
Not really. I think we have very similar personnel. They have very good receivers. We have very good receivers. They have very good backs. They have very good and physical backs. I think we are very, very similar. I know that Dykes and Leach, they used to work together, and I think, their teams are kind of structured similarly.
Does that work better for you guys in a way because you see a similar offense every day in practice?
Yeah, I think it will. I think we're very familiar, at least, during fall camp and spring ball, we saw our offense every single day, and we're pretty used to dropping back and getting in coverage and, going up against the run. So I think it'll be good.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions on the line for Parker? Last chance in the room.
Parker, can you kind of take us through that game for you personally, that last game? It looked like you really got more comfortable as the game wore on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was, it was my first action on defense since I've been here. I've gotten a lot in practice and stuff, but first game action, and definitely, the first snap, first couple possessions, I was kind of tight out there, but as the game went on, it, just kind of sink in and just get back to playing football, which, I've been playing since I can remember, and so just kind of fall back on your technique that the coaches have taught you.
Big TFL in the second half. Can you talk about that?
That was awesome. It was a really cool play, really good play call. They were running it, and we ran the perfect play, and it was kind of a blitz, and I just got by my guy, and the guy ended up right in my lap.
Parker, the return man for Cal, who had the 2 scores last year, he's back, and he'll obviously be part of their game plan. What makes him so effective, and how can you guys slow him down this year?
I think, he's experienced. That's obviously he's a great athlete, but he's experienced, and I think a big part of being able to return is feeling out where your blocks are, how they're going to develop, and I think that with his experience, he's able to use his blocks and do all that well. And we've been working a lot on special teams this year, and it's a huge emphasis with Mealy, and he's got us going, and we're excited for the challenge that he's going to present to us.
You guys already have one win on the road, and you've had some good Pac-12 wins on the road the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a confidence going on the road, or how do you feel going in this game? I mean, not intimidated by the road. You won last time, obviously,
right.
at Cal.
I think we do enjoy the opportunity to go going to another person's house and, trying to go down there and get a win. But, we kind of try to treat every game the same, and regardless of whether we're favored or not. And I think we're just excited about the opportunity to play.